Ben has always said that you get involved in the community because the community gets involved with your business. Mm-hmm. They basically, by supporting the things that they do out in the areas, then we are receiving referrals, we're receiving business as a result of it. But basically we do it out of the goodness of our heart. It's not just to get business, it's because there's a need there. And that's what Meador's all about. Meador Staffing is not only helping people find jobs, helping people find careers, helping the client find that hard to fill position. We make happy marriages, but we also help people that are in need. And one of the stories that I love to share is about a lady that came to us back in 1976. She moved here from a different state, was down on her luck, single mom with a small child. She came to our office and we had a mail clerk position at one of the plants out of 225. She would be driving a stick shift car. In the winter that meant it was cold, in the summer it meant it was very hot. I called my contact and told him about this lady, and he said, let's give her a shot. She didn't have a place to take her child. Luckily, I had a daycare that my son was going to, and through the goodness of Meador Staffing, we paid for her child to go to daycare at Little Texans here in Pasadena. And long story short, she was with the company until the day she retired. And so that's a success story. She came to us as a referral because I believe she came to one of the shelters here in the area. And the rest was history. So that's really what it's all about. We have worked with the Bridge Over Troubled Waters. We have worked with the Salvation Army. We've worked with the Pasadena Rodeo. We've also worked with the Pasadena Strawberry Festival. We've worked with the Pasadena Chamber of Commerce, the Deer Park Chamber of Commerce. We belong to, I believe it is like 9 or 11 Chamber of Commerces right now. So we get involved in the community because that's what you do. If you want to be successful, you do that. And that is where my heart lies, is working in the education. We serve on the board for PISD, also for Deer Park Education Foundation, the Pearland Education Foundation. We believe in starting in the schools and going and talking to these kids and telling them what it means to look for a job, how you interview, how you dress for an interview, how to prepare a resume, because they're our future. We've got to start in the schools and help them to go out into the workforce. And so that's how I got involved in community service with Meador Staffing. I actually was hired, that's a long story. I was driving down Southmore in Pasadena looking for a job. I was on my way to Quimby Employment. And Meador Staffing, it was Meador Brady at the time. I saw their sign and I was almost out of gas, so I stopped there because it was closer. Interviewed with Chris Finn, and she said, I've got 3 jobs I want to send you on. So I interviewed and took the test for Mirachem Chemicals, also Champion Papers, and then I had an interview with Jean Brady at Meador Brady Personnel. And I was offered all 3 positions, of which I chose Meador Brady because I was only going to work a year and it was close to home. 43 years later, I've worked in every position within the company with the exception of CEO, Ben Meador's position, and accounting. I don't do numbers. And I think the community involvement and the sales aspect of Meador have been my favorites of all the positions that I've been in. And I have to tell this story through Meador Staffing. I've had the opportunity to take my first flight on an airplane. They sent me to New Orleans to a convention. And Ben Meador, Dick Davidson, Elaine Romberg, and I started a nationwide network of independently owned staffing services. And that was so exciting, working with other staffing services that were our size and larger, and learning how to do business. And it was just so much fun. Melinda Torreson was our director, and we traveled all over the United States, even went to Puerto Vallarta a couple of times, Cancun, Jamaica. Just lots of fun and lots of people in this industry. The staffing industry is, in my opinion, of course, I have 43 years of staffing industry experience, but it is the best industry. So many great people, and all of them have the ministry to help others. They want to help people find that perfect job and help their clients. And that's what it's all about. Oh, gosh, it's done so much. It's given me the opportunity to get involved with people that I otherwise would have never known. I wouldn't have known about the Bridge Over Troubled Water, the Ringing the Bell of the Salvation Army. Those doors were open for me through the involvement of Ben Meador and Jean Brady and all of those before me and all of those that will come after me. And it's just done so much for me. And then when I look back over the past 6 years, I think probably the greatest advice that was given to me by Ben. And it was at the death of my son. And he came to me and he said, all eyes are on you. And what you do with this speaks volumes. And you can either share your story or you can be heartbroken for the rest of your life. And through that started my sharing of scripture. I've done that for 6 years. I started the Grief Share program at Peace Lutheran, and also have been involved in Compassionate Friends and speaking with a lot of people that have lost children, have lost loved ones, because there's just a need there. So it's given me the opportunity to grow in so many different ways, and to receive a lot of wisdom through Ben's many years of working with people. And I'm so thankful for that. So thankful. This is our 50-year anniversary. Can you believe it? 50 years. I remember when Ben and Jean started the company, and Ben loves to tell the story about how there was a trash can in the middle of the floor and it had sheetrock in it because they were still getting the office together for them to move in. And all he had was a phone, and a guy walks to the door and he picks up the phone and starts talking on the phone like he's taking an order, a job order from a client. And the guy looks at Ben and goes, "Sir, I'm here to hook up that phone." And so they had the dream, and the fun thing about all of it is that they shared that dream. And through the 50 years, we have worked with so many companies and built relationships. One of the relationships I had was with a client over in the Baytown area, and their company filed bankruptcy. And they owed us $250,000. And I went to Ben and told Ben that the client had said that he would pay us back. And I'll never forget, Ben said, "Will you put your career on the line for it?" And the relationship I had with that client, I said I would. And for every week I went out there and picked up a check, and he paid us in full. So it's building relationships. I still am in touch with him, 43 years later. And so that's what I think, bottom line, Meador is about building relationships, not only with clients and with applicants, but in the community, and giving back, because we've been given so much.